may I assume that your homes are off-grid, that your homes are powered with solar power and fed with rain catchment water? If not, may I at least assume that you do your part to recycle, that you compost your organics and place your inorganic waste in the right bin, always? I'm embarrassed to admit that I don't. Why is this? We know how to recycle and how to offset waste. We study it in school. We write academic articles on it. We call the field of study the circular economy. But do we really get it? The evidence is overwhelming that we don't. I'm a young entrepreneur from Africa-wide. Being an entrepreneur means I'm building a new future. And being from Africa means I'm eminently qualified to speak about waste. As South Africans, we produce enough solid waste to rebuild the Great Pyramid of Giza every 4.5 days. In fact, if humanity were to pile our wasted food into oil tankers, then we'd fill the entire global fleet, as we waste 1.3 billion tons of food per year. We also waste 450 billion kiloliters of water, which is like wasting all the water of Hurricane Harvey every quarter, or Hurricane Katrina every 20 days. We waste 350 exajoules of energy in heat, noise, and leaks. I could tell you that's enough energy to melt the Antarctic ice cap in just over 10 years. But who cares? 350 exajoules is like releasing 12,500 Hiroshima bombs per day. Now, numerous NGOs, celebrities, think tanks, and greenies have used similar shocking statistics to galvanize the world into action. Sadly, they failed. Call me cynical, but I believe humanity is inherently selfish. If I want my 3-year-old daughter to share a toy with her baby brother, then I must bribe her. That is human nature. My wife and I, we're still working on nurture. But the same thing can be said for humanity and waste. It's easy to justify a triple bottom line or the pursuit of the Millennium Development Goals when things are going well. But when hardship strikes, then we turn a blind eye to the world's plight. We scheme, we lie, and we retreat. I'm thinking of Volkswagen and their emissions cheating scandal, or the US withdrawing from the Paris Climate Accords. If these are the actions of the wealthy, respectable companies and countries, what do you think the little guys are doing? We created a world where 10% consumes half, 10% doesn't have any, and 80% believe that trying won't make a difference. We must monetize waste, else we'll forever be fighting short-term greed at the expense of long-term gain. Let us consider the circular economy anew. The first word, circular, stems from natural systems. And Mufasa gave the best explanation of the circle of life to Simba in the movie The Lion King. Simba, when we die, our bodies become the grass, and the antelope eat the grass. And so we're all connected in the great circle of life. The second word, economy, stems from Greek and means two things: household and manage. So participating in the circular economy means our households are managed so that we convert what we use into something of equal or greater value. Our households extend beyond our homes to include our businesses, our communities, and our environment. When we manage something, it is a considered effort. We analyze, we prioritize, we optimize. When we convert something to increase its value, well, then we're talking about making money. Let me tell you of the Zabaleen of Cairo. The Zabaleen had nothing going for them. As poor subsistence farmers, they moved to Cairo in the 1940s. They were religiously marginalized and often persecuted. Things were so rough that they started to collect household waste for free, just to feed their pigs. What was in it for them? The inherent value of the waste. They managed their waste. They studied recycling methods and formed micro-recycling enterprises. They invested in tools. They started making crafts. They are selling fabrics in New York. By the early 2000s, the Zabaleen were managing about a third of Cairo's waste without costing the populace a cent. They mastered resource efficiency and recycled about 80% of what they collected. Let me put this into perspective. 15 years ago, a poor, persecuted community were doing waste management as effectively as San Francisco, one of the greenest cities in the world, is doing today. They are making money. One of the trickiest waste to handle is microparticles, which are particles that's defined as being less than 10 microns in diameter. Most of the time, Johannesburg in South Africa is covered in a faint dust haze because a full fifth of dumped mining slimes are smaller than 10 microns. Our company developed a process whereby we mix these mining slimes with recycled plastic. We add to this a little bit of magic, and then we compression mold green roof tiles. Our tiles weigh a quarter of normal concrete tiles, yet they are twice as strong and not brittle. We don't go around selling the fact that we can recycle mining slimes by the truckload. No, people won't buy that. They also won't buy the 1.9 kilograms of greenhouse gas emissions that we can offset per tile. What makes our tiles worth buying is the fact that they save a developer on breakage, roof trusses, construction time, and transport. Overall, a Thevia-built roof comes in 10% cheaper than a roof built with a bottom-range economy tile. After we're done with our certification, we'll be taking mining slimes with no value, creating roof tiles with real value. That is making money. But now, let's really stretch our minds. How about empty space? In 2017, the Lagos State government disclosed that there are over 60 abandoned government buildings on Lagos Island. How on earth can this be? Lagos is a city with 14 million people. They have an access problem. It takes 6 hours of daily commuting simply to work from those. Nor can those buildings be converted into homes because the people in downtown Lagos are too poor to pay the rent. So what to do? How about we start a hydroponic farming agribusiness? Hydroponic farming yields are about 4 times that of soil equivalent because the growing season lasts the entire year and the constant provision of the correct nutrients optimize the growth of every crop. A building like that can yield you 29 tons of Swiss chard straight to the city center, washed and cleaned, at a 10% discount to supermarket rates. That's an estimated monthly revenue of 60 to 70,000 euros. Rent in that building would have earned you about 40,000 euros. All these answers are money answers. The prevailing poverty in Africa is hiding the innovation of our entrepreneurs. We're converting the waste. We're creating wealth. We're creating employment. We're promoting human dignity. These are the principles of building sustainable cities. To us 80% that believe trying won't make a difference, I ask, what are we so afraid of that we've become wasted human potential? I can hear the excuses echo across the room. But I don't have money. But I'm not given an opportunity. But I cannot see the value. It's up to us to create the value. Our ancestors were unskilled entrepreneurs, simple traders and farmers that knew risk, worked hard, and jumped when they saw an opportunity. In watching this talk, you're already privileged. You have access to the internet and its resources. That makes you global. It makes you connected. It makes you somebody whom the world can't afford to label as waste. So I'm asking you, join me in seeing waste for what it's worth. A valuable resource, an opportunity to start a business. I'm not asking you to change the world, no. I'm asking you to convert some waste and make yourself some money. You see, we must monetize waste so that we can leapfrog short-term greed and achieve long-term gain. In the process, we may just deal with all the waste, finally. Thank you very much.